Do you believe that techniques for lovemaking could be helpful?
Techniques.
Yeah, techniques for lovemaking. Could that be helpful, you think?
It's well, techniques, whether it's love making or something else, can be helpful. Sometimes it depends how you how tuned in you are with your heart. So if you are let's say quite disconnected, the more disconnected you are, the more you need support from technique, from outside, second-hand information, so second-hand guidance.
Yeah.
If you are tuned within your soul and heart, then most of the time you do not need technique because you tap into a situation where everything is there, everything is a master of light, a master of everything. You know, you tap into your field of millions and millions of years, if you want to think linearly, of life, of experience. In regard of love making, to me, it seems a little bit odd to talk about techniques, because love making, more than most of anything else, is such a natural, spontaneous expression of ourselves that we really need to have a great deal of untrust to what we are and what we feel in order to get to the point where we think we need technique. But there's nothing wrong. It's just once you operate from a technique point of view, you shifted into a state of being that is mind related. So you are addressing the experience with your mind, because technique means I have to think what I'm doing. I have to use my technique. So I'm going to be on my mind. Love making, when you are in your mind, it's like not really the most desirable situation. I realize that many people in this planet right now are operating when it comes to sex, when it comes to love making, from that standing point, because we have been programmed and educated to externalize our way to perceive sexuality. And so we are very much in our mind. But again, if you are connected with your source, with your heart, you do not need a technique to make love. Making love will happen spontaneously, and you will fully embrace the experience and allow mysteriousness to unfold and the unknown to unfold, and then you will be allow something unexpected to happen. So It also depends how you get to the love making and at what stage of the of the connection with your partner you are.
Yeah, but and so you say that in some cases it could be helpful then.
Yes, when you are not connected with your true heart and soul, and then you need support, you need help. When we are disconnected, we do need help because we don't have an internal guidance mechanism that is supporting us. So then we have to look for outside in order to get support. That's not only on lovemaking, it's anything we do.
Well, yeah, so for example, if you learn dancing or photography or anything like that, you learn first some techniques because you're completely new in it, and you don't know much about it, and so you can expand a little bit on what it is, and then once you've learned a little bit of the techniques, you can let go and get more and more into your heart, and and then still apply the things that you've learned.
That's how we usually we operate. It can be tricky. Mm-hmm. I mean, it depends. Your personality also depends, and again, how much tuned in you are with life. You can learn how to swim by just going in the water and figure out things while you are there. Mm-hmm. Or you can read 50 books about swimming before you even dare to put 1 foot in the water. There's nothing wrong with one or the other. Mm-hmm. However, I personally think there is much more valuable in the experience, in the direct experience, than in the accumulation of data that somebody else has created, and then following that, it cannot sometimes take me away from the experience. Mm-hmm. So I never really fully have the experience. And if you think about it, if you are learning a technique, someone must have created that technique, and that person didn't have technique. So he or she started to operate with no technique. Right. And then the technique was born. Yeah. So in a way, there we go. We are applying techniques because most of the time we are not connected with life enough to just dare into the situation and just create our own technique as we have the experience. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong in learning. I have studied photography. I have studied many things, and they have been supportive. We have to just make sure that what we learn in the school or in the book or in whatever educational system we choose doesn't take over us. Mm-hmm. Because then we lose the magic, and then we become puppet that just mechanically operate through the technique. And there is many people that you see that come out from the university or whatever, and they have the big degree and they have big professor or big whatever, but they're doing it's not extraordinary. And they are more or less do the same thing. You can see, sometimes you walk in an hospital, doctor seems to be kind of similar, lawyer seems to be kind of similar. They even dress like sometimes, and even in the art, there are some musicians that more or less they do the same thing. And if you take away the supportive mechanism of technique, they get very nervous. So we need to use our intelligence to blend it, to make the best of our technique, but then we have to let it go and forget about it, and then allow our heart and soul to take charge. So back to make love. If you need to learn techniques, just do it. Just go to the tantra techniques, the whatever techniques, memorize the picture and learn that you have to breathe in a certain way and the position in a certain way and then a certain. But once you have learned that and then you jump in the bed with your lover, please forget everything and just allow your true essence to express itself without filter it with knowledge, because otherwise your doing will never ever take you to an extraordinary field, an unexpected field, geniality. It is exactly that. If you follow the technique and that's all you do, you will never be a genius. A genius, and I believe we all are genius when we are connected to source in different ways, but we all are, is nothing else but a person that completely surrender. It take out his system, all the programming, all the right thing, the right way to do, the wrong way to do it, just do tabula rasa, just delete the button, all he knows, and just start to, he goes in the water and just feel the experience, and then the feeling will take him to a certain situation. Of course, it's valuable to know certain things. For example, if you need to know that there are certain things when you make love, you have to know, do I want to have children, or don't? Because, just to give you a simple example. Yeah. Yes, I personally enjoy learning some degree of techniques, but because I could learn a technique also to do this interview. Mm-hmm. There are courses to how to do an interview. Mm-hmm. There are courses on how to speak, how to say what you have to say, what kind of posture, and how to sit down, what kind of voice you have to use. And then you apply all this technique and you have this perfect interview. But that's not what we need. We don't need an artificial perfection. Most of the time it's quite boring, and it really doesn't create any emotion. I rather just to sit down and just hear what you are going to ask. I don't even know what you're going to ask me, and then I trust my inner source to guide me through the answer. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I find an answer that I didn't know before. Now, if I use 100% technique, that will never happen, and so I will never learn anything from this, because I am applying already a pre-configured path. And with that pre-configuration, I will not be able to surprise myself and learn anything.
Mm-hmm. But as you say, some are disconnected and find it very hard to feel in their own bodies.
Yes.
And feel in, for example, for the partner's body, So, for example, when someone learns to breathe more deeply and is more learns to connect more to their bodies, then I think it could be very valuable, and the person can, learn in that way also to open up more to their hearts and connecting more to their bodies, and learn in this way step by step to go deeper into lovemaking.
Yes, it is so. It is valuable. However, again, what is it better? Is it better that I am scared of doing something and I face my fear and I jump into it and I see what happens? Or I hide my fear and I cover up with a bunch of information that comes from some other person, and then gradually maybe I get confident enough. But it's a choice. Everybody has different approaches. Some people relate on education and on techniques in order to avoid, or maybe let's not say avoid, to build more, to create a sense of self-assurance that everything is going to be fine because now I have technique, right? So nothing is going to hurt me, or nothing is going to be, I'm going to do, to have this technique which will allow me to make sure that I am doing what I'm supposed to do, because I'm really scared to do something wrong, because then I will not be accepted, or I will be not loved. In a way it would be better to, okay, I got fear here, all right, let's see what's going on, let's play with this fear. Hey, you're my lover, I have to be honest with you, I have zero technique and I'm scared, I'm really scared. Let's try, let's see what happens. You know, but that's a honest, open, vulnerable field to which many people just cannot get there. So these people, sometimes they take last classes and they get a huge amount of data. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes now the ego kick in. So they avoid their insecurity and fear, which is still there. It's just now a cover up with a lot of information that make him feel that I'm a master, I got a degree here, you know. And now it's going to be even more difficult for me to identify the real work that I have to do, which is face my fear. And the best way to face my fear is to jump directly into the experience, because life experience is the technique, is the best teacher, rather than somebody else that tells you his founded rightness and wrongness. And maybe he didn't even found it. He learned it from somebody else, so he is also lost. So you are getting not second-hand, third, fourth, fifth, 10th hand information, second-hand information. All this because we don't really want to go deep into our core and expand and grow up. And yeah, it's scary. It is scary. Yeah, so what? It's scary. I'm afraid. I'm nervous. Yeah. I don't see any big problem with that. We all are nervous. We all experience fear. Just let's see where this fear takes me. And then maybe it will be a disaster the first time. If your lover is really a lover, will embrace your disaster and say, don't worry, we'll try again. Right?
Yeah.
So, but again, that requires already a strength within yourself that I understand that most of us do not have. And so, back to your question, yes, for some of us, it's good to have technique. And I study technique sometimes. I study how to use a camera so I can do an interview, how to take picture, how. But in a sense, most of the time I try not to know too much, because when I know too much, then my mind is polluted with this is how it has to happen, and then it's not fun anymore, because I don't get to live the surprise of the creation. if you are a creator and you create, it means you are doing something that you are supposed to do something that never has done before. Because then if that's not the case, then you are not creating, you are recreating. You are creating again.
Yeah.
But if you are a creative person and you create, it means that you are stepping into a mystery, an unknown territory, and then you have the chance to create for the first time. When you have a lot of technique, very, very difficult that you have that chance. Because there is a lot of information inside your head, and with all those informations, you won't be able to be innocent.
Yeah.
You will not be able to be like a little child. You will not be able to be a first-timer. And so you will most likely recreate something more than create something.
Okay, thank you.